You know, from the stats, the numbers don't actually look that bad with him. Dropping 10 points, grabbing 6 rebounds, having 1 block, even being a very efficient 71.4% from the field, 5 of 7. But if you actually watch the game and really watch Deandre Ayton play, then you are probably very disappointed. In fact, you're probably yelling at him through your screen for a large majority of the game. Again, he might have been very efficient and the numbers weren't that bad for him, but he simply looked way too hesitant and a little bit lackluster on both ends of the court. Defensively, getting lost at times and not being quick enough to contest shots, and that left guys like Steph Curry open, many of the Golden State's role players open, and accounting for them shooting 42.5%, Ayton definitely was a part of that. Then offensively, the guy simply was like lagging out there. He'd catch the ball in the post and then hesitate for 2 to 3 seconds, throw up a pump fake and then bring the ball down and not know what to do with it. Looking completely lost out there at times, and it really was very confusing. After he looked very put together and very motivated throughout preseason, this was definitely a little bit of a step back for him. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's time to give up on him, not time to trade Deandre Ayton or anything like that, but it definitely was a little bit of a lackluster performance from Ayton, especially compared to preseason. I mean, throughout preseason, he looked much more aggressive, much more confident, and that he simply knew what to do within their game plan, both offensively and defensively too, which I can't say the same thing for him tonight. Like I referred to, he really was uncoordinated offensively, like he didn't know what to do with the ball in his hands, and that became a major problem for them. When their offense fell flat in the third quarter, when Austin Reeves got in foul trouble and they tried to run part of their offense through Deandre Ayton, he simply could not produce for them. You know, he really couldn't do anything with the ball. Anytime they dumped it off to him, he kind of reflected a Kwame Brown 2.0, something that I've seen some Laker fans calling him on Twitter, and unfortunately I kind of do agree with it, that he didn't know what to do with the ball, that he had no post move to speak of, and that he may have lost his memory from earlier in his NBA career. That was obviously not good to see with Deandre Ayton. So again, definitely don't think that's the end for him and that it's time to write him off or anywhere close to it, but it was a disappointing regular season debut with Deandre Ayton in the purple and gold. However, while I know it might be impossible as a Laker fan, especially if you're on Twitter and tend to be influenced by Twitter, really do try to be patient here. Not only with Deandre Ayton, but really the entire team too. It's only one game after all, and while it wasn't a great performance with them, nor for Deandre Ayton, it definitely could have been worse. Definitely some good things to point to, whether it be Luka Doncic, their defense at times in the court. Yes, at times, definitely not the entire game, but there were good things to point to, albeit a ton of stuff they have to clean up.
JJ just mentioned how when it comes to like defense communication, like a lot of that's falls on you right now. It's a team thing, but you know, from where you were on the back line, like where you feel like the team could kind of learn from this game tonight.
They're just staying together. I feel like we responded pretty well on my communication out there, but obviously some execution and closing possessions on the defensive end. You know, we got a little discombobulated, but yeah, I walked in here saying it was on me on some possessions where, you know, I felt like I should have topped more, or, you know, probably even blitz early, just, you know, doing my natural deeds on the defensive end. But I feel like my guards really did a good job on just communicating and trusting me back there while I was trying to call out them coverages.
Yeah, to that third point, how did they get away with you guys?
Yeah, they came out like they normally do. They're a great third quarter team. You know, JJ warned us and told us be ready, and they came out, you know, shooting the lights out, and you know that's what got their momentum and, you know, kind of put us on our heels a little bit, and they start coming downhill, attacking us to the rim and drawing fouls.
AR was speaking about, you know, his frustration in himself with turning the ball over, and sometimes he felt like he was making the right read and just maybe not throwing the right pass. And as you guys all try to come together and get on the same page, how do you support one another through like kind of the things that don't look so smooth?
You know, today I was realizing like I'm probably a confusing big, you know, whether I can roll and stay in the pocket. You know, it's probably a little difficult for them sometimes. I'm so used to, you know, the league having that low man on me, you know, sometimes I can't even finish a roll, and, you know, a tiny bit linger around the free throw area just to be available for him. And, you know, there's times where I can finish my roll, and, you know, it's just, we got to play some more, and, you know, play against some more great teams like how we did tonight to really see what's the common coverage of these teams, really trying to put us on their personnel, what they got on us.
Are those things, Deandre, that just will take time as a unit and as a group?
Most definitely, and I'm excited about all of that because at the same time, I feel like our defense and all, I'm seeing guys step up, play a lot of defense and, get stops, and it's an emotional game, but today we still stuck together and we didn't break, and I like that we kept togetherness as the focal point.